Hello everyone, this is Daulat Mohammed Jeffrey welcoming all of you to IPO TV. Today is the third day of the 136th IPO Assembly here in Bangladesh. Right now I have the former Speaker of the House of Lords of the UK Parliament with me.
Hello, fine, good.
So there are lots of great phrases regarding the British government, the British Parliament, that the sun never sets on the British Empire. The British Parliament can do and undo anything. Even the British Parliament can ban smoking in the streets of Paris. So we have heard from our childhood that about the British Parliament. Actually, what is the condition and the situation of the British Parliament right now in UK?
Let me just start by saying that I'm always so surprised when I go abroad to know that the House of Parliament, Westminster, is held in such high regard. It is not held in high regard in the UK, I have to tell you.
Is that so?
So I think that there is a very, very strong gap between the people and Parliament, which I think is true in many European countries, in many Western countries. And you know, it's seen as a political elite which is not really aware of what the needs of the people are. So I'm not sure that Parliament is given great high regard in the UK at the moment. In fact, politicians are regarded as being only next to journalists in a matter of esteem. Journalists are not thought to be very worthy of our esteem, and indeed nor are politicians.
Seen that in recently a terrorist attack in front of the British Parliament. So as a former Speaker of the House of Lords, how you see these things?
Well, you know, it was not a question of if, but a question of when. I mean, many parliaments and many communities around the world have been attacked and had a terrorist attack, and in a sense it was our turn. It's a very great tragedy for the people involved, but it could have been much worse. And I think that one of the important lessons to learn is that there will be more terror attacks all over the world, but we still have to keep Parliament open. It's not good news, but we've got to balance our security measures with keeping an open Parliament. Let's remember that the Parliament in democracies belongs to people, not to the government.
So recently, Bangladesh also faced some terror attacks, and the Bangladesh government has faced it brilliantly. Do you know about it?
Yes, indeed, absolutely, yeah. No, I came on a visit to Bangladesh about this time last year, an official visit to Bangladesh, and was treated with the most wonderful hospitality and learned a great deal about Bangladesh during that time. And I think that there is quite a lot of cooperation between your security services and our security services on the question of terrorism.
How the British government or the British Parliament is looking over the refugee matter?
Well, you know, I think again one has to say that the British government has never been over generous in accepting refugees. And when we look around the world,
so?
Well, it's just a tradition that we don't, you know, we accept people who come to work, and indeed when it suits our purposes. But as far as refugees are concerned, we've never been as generous as we could be, or indeed as some countries are. Look at, for instance, at Jordan at the moment. Do you know how many refugees that Jordan, a small country, not a very rich country, it has 1.5 million refugees. I think we have something under 300,000.
Talk about the European Union and the British government policy issues.
You know, everyone asks about what we now call Brexit.
Yeah,
First
exactly.
of all, let's say that having a referendum is not a good way for a democracy to govern, okay? Because people elect their MPs to represent leadership. Almost half of those who voted do not want to leave the European Union. The campaign itself, it seems to me, was built on a lot of falsity and falsehood. But I think that the reason why people voted to leave, those who did, is because, again, they have a great dissatisfaction with politicians. They feel that politicians don't really know what their lives are like, and nor are they doing anything to improve their lives. So it's not a question that the British public voted for leaving, they voted against the European Union. It's a slight difference, it's a subtle difference.
Thank you, madam. It was really nice talking to you. I've learned many things from you, and this is the first time, you know, in the history of IPO of 128 years that it has launched a TV channel, yes. IPO TV, and under the Bangladeshi expertise with all the Bangladeshi technical hands.
Well, I wish it enormous success, and if it has, you know, when I saw the opening ceremony of the IPU,
inaugurated by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
The imagination of that performance on the boat was completely wonderful. You should export that to the world.